Welcome back to the Pilates Exchange. I'm your host, Hannah Teutcher. I'm so glad that you are here with me today. My friends, my teachers, my studio owners, people that are interested in Pilates. It's been a little while since our last episode, and I would like to go deep into the reasons why that is, what our new pathway going forward looks like, and how you're going to start using our podcast to help you maybe avoid some of the challenges that we've been dealing with, and setting your guys' self up for success in the future. There's some big changes that are going to be happening. Maybe this is the first one that you're seeing right now. It's going to be a lot more authentic coming from me, a lot more, let's say, less polished and more just get it done, because I would like to be able to share with you things that are going on faster. And if I am spending too much time with trying to make things perfect for you guys, we're just losing time. So let me back up a little bit and talk to you about what's been going on the last few months. Actually, the big story is going to be next episode, and I'm going to wait a little bit for that one. So next episode is going to come out really soon, and give maybe the biggest thing that we've been facing more time and space for it to exist on its own. So please take a look at that next episode. But right now, I would like to frame this whole series of episodes that are coming up with maybe like knowing when it's time to pivot, and for you to be learning lessons from our crises and our studio relaunch and the podcast relaunch right here. So this is going to be your place to like reassess, to realign, and maybe rebuild with clarity alongside us. Even if it's not a rebuild, there is a lot of stuff going on in the Pilates world. So maybe you're just at the start of your studio ownership. These are things that you're going to be wanting to pay attention to. Every movement professional will reach a point where just something feels off. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's this feeling of maybe heaviness at the end of the day. Maybe it's a growing resistance to the schedule that you're facing. Maybe you're just feeling fatigued. Maybe there's just something that you can't really name it. And sometimes, like it is for us, for Christian and I, everything hits all at once. So for us, that moment came in the summer of 2025. I am recording this and end of 25, early 26. So the both of us have been working 6 or 7 days a week for a longer period of time. Not all of it was client facing, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into the background of all the places that we show up, because if you've been following us, that we believe strongly in giving back to our community. So all of our social media content, YouTube and Instagram and all the places that we show up requires a lot of time from us, okay? So all of the work that we've been doing is not all sorts of glamorous. I love my work every moment. I mean, we do love the client-facing stuff, but sometimes that hustle is the one that's getting celebrated on Instagram and all that. And yeah, that's there, but it's more of like the hustle is more of like this quieter, more dangerous kind where you convince yourself that cycle that you're on is normal because you've built it. Because people depend on you, because our community, our online community of studio owners and teachers, they depend on us, because our clients depend on us, and because ultimately you love what you're doing. But loving what you do and being consumed by the work that you're doing, that's not the same. That's really, that's a really different thing. Christian and I were constantly together in the studio. We're passing each other in the hallways, we're co-teaching, we're managing this business side by side, but we were rarely having time actually together, like real time, where you see each other as humans, where you're not just business partners, you're like co-parents of the studio. We were hustling, we were building the studio, we were building the online studio, we built our team. And somewhere in the middle of that, we started to forget ourselves. There is a very distinct, sharp moment where our lives stopped. This moment of crisis and clarity is just fused together. I will be telling, or we will be talking about that story in the next episode. Like I said in the beginning, because it deserves space. But let's just say for now, it forced us to reassess everything that we know about ourselves, about our business, about our teaching, and about the lives that we are trying to create. So maybe you, listener, maybe you're not in a moment of crisis. Maybe it's just like a little whisper that something is off. Maybe something isn't feeling quite aligned. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of confusion about what had once energized you, now it drains you. If that's you, then this episode is for you. I'm just going to share a little bit of the framework that we use to identify with what wasn't working in hopes that you can apply some of these ideas for yourself before you hit that breaking point. First thing is regular check-ins. Teaching and or running a studio is demanding. Your body, your brain, your energy, your nervous system. If you don't pause at least, I would say every quarter, twice a year, bare minimum, but hopefully a little bit more often, to reassess, you are going to be drifting off. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because as humans, we drift naturally when life gets full. So when you are checking in, I want you to be thinking about your vision, mission, and goals. What are your outcomes? You have to really dive into understand what's working. You got to identify what isn't working for you and your studio, and you pivot before the crisis, or you crisis proof your business, your teaching business. We'll talk about all of that coming up, but it's more about that check-in, right? That check-in, because you want to stay connected to the values that you have. You want to be making decisions that support your longevity as a teacher and as a studio. So we really, Kristen and I, we recommend reviewing that on 3 different levels: your personal life, your teaching life, and your studio. And all of those reflections have saved us more than once. So again, we'll talk about what had happened, but because we do this on a fairly regular basis, we were able to catch and save us a whole lot of pain, okay? pain, and maybe it's just psychological pain, because we had framework set up that really supported us during our time of chaos. So if you're looking at one of those, let's say on those different levels, we have sustainable teaching, like your personal level is what is going to make a sustainable teaching side of things. So your well-being influences your teaching, your clients, and your business outcomes. That's just the way it is. And through the years, I've met far too many instructors, myself included, especially at the beginning, but even still now, I need to really be checking at this, who sacrifice their own health for the sake of the community. It looks a lot of different ways for different people. And it's coming from a good place. You love your clients, you love what you do, and you want to be there for everyone. But the truth is, if you are depleted, everyone's going to feel it. If you're teaching from alignment, everyone benefits. So the ways that it shows up for myself when it's not sustainable, I say yes to things that I shouldn't be saying yes to, because I love my clients, but I go over the boundaries of my limits of how many hours in a day can I teach, what sort of tasks do I like doing, so let's just say the teaching schedule, is it supporting your life? Or are you filling every single gap in your schedule because you feel guilty leaving the space? Or are you just hustling and thinking that you need all those extra dollars or those euros to fill up your pocketbook? Do you really need that? Or are you depleting yourself so much that you can't make good decisions. Another question you should ask yourself, are you working with your ideal clients? And if not, what boundaries or marketing shifts are you going to need to make so that you can be working with your ideal people? Do you still enjoy the classes that you are teaching? Do the formats, do they align with your philosophy, or have you drifted into this sort of like obligation teaching type of thing? Do you feel, let's say, energized, invigorated at the end of your day, or do you feel depleted? Now, everyone's going to go through down days. I'm not talking about that. Not every day is like, oh yeah, I love my job. But it are the majority making you feel great, or are you fatigued at the end of this? Because your energy levels, they're data. You need to be looking at it. It won't lie to you. Okay, it won't. So take a check in there. Another one is, are you being supported in your workplace? Healthy environments matter more than people would like to admit. So those quarterly reflections help you reconnect with your why do you teach, and not just what you teach. Another place that we're going to be looking, another whole area, is your teaching craft evolving with you? So we're talking about this all the time in all of our different programs, that continuing education that we're giving. Great teaching isn't a fixed skill. It's a living practice. It's one that grows. It stretches you. It reshapes as you grow yourself as a person. So excellent teaching is going to push your curiosity. It keeps you engaged. The studio becomes like a movement lab. It's a place where you test ideas, the knowledge that you're learning. You're going to be challenging your own assumptions, and maybe even like discovering new layers of understanding. If that feels stagnant to you, we're not in a good place. So asking yourself, are your classes effective? Are they outcome driven? Your clients should feel progress, not just deja vu of the same thing over and over. You're asking yourself, are my sequences, are they automatic? Like, patterns are good. We like patterns, but just like unconscious repetition, that's not good. Do you yourself, you listener, do you have your own personal movement practice? Right? Are you taking care of your own body? Because you cannot be pouring out from, let's call it like an empty body, right? You need to be constantly in there. Now, I'm not talking every day. I'm not talking about wearing yourself out with a practice every day for 2 hours of Pilates or whatever. Like, but your own movement practicing. Are you filling yourself, your movement, your body with joy, things that your body craves of movement, even if it is not Pilates? Are you learning something new in the body? Are you teaching from a place of health in your own body? And then the other thing, are you still learning? Not chasing trends. And oh my gosh, are there some trends out there that we are going to be talking about in upcoming episodes? Okay, but we're going to leave those we're going to leave those for the side right now. Are you still learning and engaging with science, coaching methodologies, creativity? Are you being reflective in your own practice? Because teaching thrives, studios thrive when you stay curious. And again, I'm not talking about bouncing from trend to trend and, I've seen this on TikTok and now I have to change everything I'm doing. No. But having that open mind and that curiosity is really going to help you. And the next level, the ecosystems you create around yourself, they matter. So if you own a studio or you help run a studio, those quarterly check-ins are non-negotiable. Far too many people that we work with, they avoid looking closely at the studio, at their businesses, because numbers are scary or because everything feels fine. Okay, but feelings are misleading. Data rarely is misleading. So I want you to jump into those numbers. So financial health. For example, are your intro offers converting? Are your classes filling? Not the feeling of them being filled, because you have some great clients in there, but look at the numbers. Are your expenses aligned with your revenue? That will tell you if you're going to need to do a pivot, a strategic pivot or not. Another thing to be looking at is your messaging and your branding. Is it still accurate? Like go through it, look at it again. Does that reflect your current values? And that will also help you attract the right clients, those ideal clients that you want in your studio, the ones that bring you joy. Does your culture and studio environment, are those teachers that are in there, do they feel supported? Do they feel valued? Is your studio an inspiring place to work in? Do your clients even feel welcome, safe, and seen in there? So I think that studios that thrive intentionally, they cultivate a grounded, uplifting ecosystem. And it's not by accident. It's by a repeated choice. It's by looking through and say, what can I do better in this moment of every step of the journey of your client, but also of your teachers? So when we realized something was off, we're doing regular check-ins always, but we got to summer, we were feeling something was a little bit misaligned. There were several areas in our business and our lives that needed attention. Again, we're going to share the full behind the scenes story. But what I can say now is that we had to start from scratch. We had to reassess everything. We have to take responsibility for the systems and the patterns that we created. And this led us to bigger questions about what supports us, what supports Christian and I, what supports our team. We have a team of teachers that are with us. What supports our clients? How do we show up for them? Why are we showing up on multiple platforms of social media? Is that necessary? Is it good? Is this something that we want to do long term? Is it helpful, or is it just creating more noise? We had to think about, what are we building and why? Are we passionate about this? And is it necessary? And yeah, is it inspiring for us? And I have to be completely honest. The process was really uncomfortable. It's emotional, but it was really necessary. And this type of growth requires that you step into the discomfort. You have to. You have to leave space to feel the big things that are there. And once we took time to step back, okay, so we step back on a lot of different areas. Depends on how closely you follow us. We step what you would have noticed or not. Areas that we step back on. There was no new social media coming from Chris for 8 months now. Nothing new. It's just using old stuff. No real new blog posts from me. Absolutely no podcasting from me. Both of us. So Chris stopped teaching. I cut down on my teaching. Many areas of our lives, we took ourselves out of the system that we had built. And once we stepped back, the truth became clearer to us. One, we show up in the spaces because we love our work. We love movement. We love teaching. We love supporting teachers and business owners, and we love training teachers. And we want to help teachers and studios grow their businesses in a sustainable, inspiring career. We do love that. Christian and I are both really experienced in toxic work environments from the dance world. And those are the environments that shaped us in very painful but very clarifying ways. So everything that we do, from our studio to the teaching to this podcast, it's built to be the opposite of that. And we believe that our mark in this world should be one of inspiration. It should be one of support. It should be one of positive change. And this is really what the foundation and the relaunch of the Pilates Exchange podcast is going to be about. So what comes next from me on this podcast? We're shifting the podcast and our educational content to be more, let's say, focused on movement professionals and help them grow through sustainable business strategy, through studio leadership, through teaching about team culture, coaching and communication, teaching mastery. These are all things that we've been talking about, but I'm really just going to go a lot deeper into this. We're also going to go into the current industry challenges. So whether you are a new studio owner, you're thinking about opening a Pilates studio, because there's a lot of you out there, or if you have an established studio and you're looking at the wild west of Pilates right now, we're going to be talking about that and how you can build, let's say, safety rails for your own studios. We're going to be navigating some trends and looking at some clarity, what I think is clarity in there. And I'm going to be trying to, hopefully we could do this monthly, but I'm an avid reader. I have many, many books about business and mindset and all that. So hopefully I'm going to be taking at least one book a month and really going through about what has been helpful for me, what I've taken from it for my business, and how I think that that knowledge could helpfully apply to you and your business. So this next chapter of the Pilates Exchange is designed to elevate the entire movement community, from freelance teachers to studio owners. That's what my hope is. What you are not going to see from us is lots of fanciness. We're going to get down and dirty, get the stuff done. And hopefully this is exactly what you're looking for. So if you've been feeling off, stuck, or misaligned in your teaching or your business, take this as an invitation to pause and reassess, because I could tell you that small pivots now can prevent burnout later. And these little pivots can really change your life for the better or for the worse. Hopefully, if we're doing a very mindful, it will help for the better. So in our next podcast episode, Chris will be with me, and he's going to share his story. And this is really the story that reshaped everything our whole lives. We're still in the middle of his story, but we felt like, because our community has been with us for so long, that it is time that we talk a little bit more about it. All right, my friends. I had created a while ago a reflection guide. If you would like it, it's free. I'll put the link down there. I called it the Burnout Spiral, the Reflection and Recovery Guide. If you want it, go and grab it. We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, I am wishing you happy teaching. Take care of yourselves, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.